No, this is not an April Fool's video. There is a new CS update, and this is mostly focused on the armory. And we got a couple of things to talk about. There has been 5 new collections added, as well as a new case. And of course, we have a couple of small changes made to Train and Inferno. And we'll jump into all of the new updates and all of that right after a quick word from SkinsMonkey. If you're not familiar with SkinsMonkey, this is a trade site that allows you to take some of the old and crusty skins out of your inventory, and you can actually trade them in for something a little bit new, a little bit shinier than what you have right now. And it's really easy to do this. Actually, all you need to do is log in through Steam, pick the skins that you don't want to use anymore, grab the ones that you do, and then click trade. All trades will pretty much happen immediately, and any balance that you don't use in your trade actually stays on the site for you to use for any future trades that you decide to do. And right now, if you use the link in the description, you can actually get a 35% deposit bonus, and that's good for up to $100. So let's say you deposit $100, you would actually get $135 on the site if you use my link. So make sure you check out SkinsMonkey, and let's hop right back into the video. So let's start by talking about the new weekly drops and how they work. So there is 3 new collections that have been added to the game. We have the Ascent collection, the Boreal collection, and of course the Radiant collection. Now we haven't actually seen all of the skins in these collections yet. They haven't given us that, but we do have these teaser pictures, so we can see a couple of cool skins in there. But this should just give a little variety and a little more incentive for your weekly drop. And who knows, these skins might be worth something in the first few weeks that they are rolling out. So get in there and try to get your drop. And of course, they added a new collection to the armory. This is the Train 2025 collection. We knew this was coming given the Train overhaul and Valve's history with remaking collections with the new versions of the map. A couple of cool skins in here, and I'm excited to see these in the next major collection with some souvenir stickers. As well as the Train collection, we also have seen the addition of the Fever case added to the game. Now, this is a little bit different than the previous case because it does not have the Kukri knife in it, and instead we have the Dreams and Nightmares knives with the chroma finishes. If you're not familiar with what I'm talking about, basically the paracord knife, the nomad knife, the survival knife, and the skeleton knife now have the chroma finishes. And what that means is you can get a ruby or a sapphire skeleton, and that's really all that you care about. There's some cool skins in here. The Outprint stream is probably the most exciting one, but if you don't care about skins, then there's not really too much else to talk about this update, because the only thing else that got changed was Inferno and Train, and the way that they describe this is spring cleaning, and to be honest, I kind of agree. They cleaned up a lot of the visual clutter, especially on Inferno, and you can most notice this at T steps. It just looks a lot cleaner when you're looking from top mid. They also widened the entirety of Banana. They said it's to be more similar to the CSGO version of Inferno, and to be honest, it is. It's actually nice to see it as it should be and as it was before. The only problem is that now the CT Molly is mostly useless, and this is a pretty big oversight in my opinion. I think that they made the CT Molly smaller in the first place to combat Inferno, but now we have to deal with this with the bigger Banana and the smaller mollies, and I'm not really sure. I'm interested to see what they do to combat that. Maybe they even just change the CT molly again. Who knows? And of course, with Banana being widened, they accidentally left a pixel gap in the logs cubby here, as you can see, but it actually does give you a little reference to see how much deeper they made this cubby. Of course, this will probably be fixed within the week, and if you're watching this anytime after this video is uploaded for a while, there's a good chance it's not even there, and you would have already forgotten. I also forgot to mention that with Banana being widened, it does actually change some of the lineups that you might have learned from me on this channel. So expect to see an updated version of this smoke specifically very soon on the channel, but for now, just aim a little bit more to the right and it should get the job done. The changes on Train are a little bit more subtle, but it's mostly just visual things again. They did change this grate at the bottom of Z. Before you could actually look through this, and I was using this in my recent matches, and now it is gone, which is objectively a good thing, and hopefully people won't be dying to any more silly business. And to wrap up the video, we could talk about some of the stuff that the data miners found. Of course, we are looking at Gabe Follower's tweet here where he says that they have officially removed Danger Zone from the files, which is just unfortunate. I don't think a lot of people actually miss it, but again, removing game modes is never a good thing. Of course, we also did see this get added, which I'm not really sure what this is. It says it's the mission background searching. It could be tied to some potential update coming. It's obviously very similar to the screen thing that happens when you queue up a match, so it could be some search for a new game mode that's being added in the future, but that could be cope, who knows. But either way, it's still exciting to see stuff like this and speculate about the future. With that being said, I think that this update was just a mid-season update after they released Season 2 of Premiere. They added some new skins for you to grind for, and of course they improved the weekly drop. Nothing really to talk about here. They're just getting ready for the next major cycle with the MRQ starting up very soon, as well as the Austin Major just around the corner. I don't want them to change anything too crazy, but I can expect that after the major, we'll probably see some significant changes to maps like Anubis. They'll probably touch on Inferno again, but for now, this is just something to hold the community over. But you can let me know what you think about this update in the comments below. The last time we got an update like this, the community seemed to agree that it was just a cash grab update with the armory being added. I don't really agree, but either way, I do think that it is just another mid-season update like I said previously. Nothing too crazy. I do appreciate the change to Inferno and of course Train, but other than that, they don't really want to make any significant changes before the major cycle starts, which is actually only in 2 weeks. Now, because I was very close and still potentially could qualify for the MRQ with Team Mythic, I actually appreciate that they haven't changed anything dramatic right before we go into that. But with that being said, that's just my opinion as a competitive player. Not a lot of people can share that same viewpoint as me, so I get that. And by the way, if you didn't know, I do actually play matches and I upload them on my third channel. I'll leave a link here. More Austin CS. Go watch my POV in some semi-pro, maybe semi-pro matches. With that being said, I appreciate you guys for watching this video. Make sure you guys subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you guys in the next one.